Dr. Kasturirangan, the reason why
Yes,
we would
please.
want you to elaborate, because that paragraph, that contentious paragraph, and I have it right, is P5.4.9,
Okay.
which was later revised also. It led, many people would say, it led to a lot of confusion. So earlier on, it mentioned Hindi as a mandatory language, and then later in the amendment, there was no mention at all, thus creating more confusion. So we would love you to elaborate.
Okay. Okay, I will clarify that. I'll do that. First thing I would like to say is that we have the section on the language policy, which is a very comprehensive one. It is not only addressing with respect to the 3-language formula or the medium of instruction. The overall strategy of developing language as a knowledge base in this country from several aspects: regional language, local language, the questions of classical languages, and then the question of modern languages, the question of the kind of infrastructure that we need, the type of teachers that are needed. So you will see, if you carefully go through the section related to the language, the policies, and the powerful medium that it represents in terms of communication, is much more than this one aspect. That is number one, I would like to say. On this particular aspect, we have addressed the question with respect to the earlier language policies, because we knew that language is a sensitive issue. If there is some level of acceptability of a particular formula or a strategy, we didn't want to rock the boat. So that was very clear to us. So we had this 3-language formula. We went through the 3-language formula and this utility and its performance, and in the overall context of its acceptability at the country's level, even though definitely there will be small deviations in the adoption of this 3-language formula with different states, it's certainly there. So, but we thought, as a general approach, as a general recommendation of the policy for the policy of language, we recommended a 3-language formula. The second thing, that modification that we brought is, if you really look at the 1968 language formula, it made Hindi mandatory for South Indian states. In fact, they have made it clear that besides the North Indian states learning English, Hindi, say Sanskrit, the non-English speaking areas will have, besides English and the local language, also Hindi to be learned. So that was the thing, and it was carried forward by 1986 policy as well as the 1992 improvement of the 1986 policy. So one of the major changes that we have made in the present policy relates to the fact that there shall be flexibility even for that, and whereas the 3-language formula will be certainly adopted, the adoptability of the 3-language formula doesn't impose Hindi as a language on any state in this country.
Dr. Kasturirangan,
Dr. Rangan, there is a feeling, we worked together for a very long time. I know you're not easy to bend, you're not easy to change things and amend things easily. Were you under some kind of a pressure to make this particular amendment a draft to the draft?
Nothing. Nothing. In the morning you get up and you find that some of the states in the southern India and other places, we are finding there is a tremendous resentment. I've called some of my very, very valued colleagues, very competent colleagues. We sit together, we debate this, what we should do. They are all members of this committee and also the people who supported this committee, and we discussed the strategy for it, and we thought that we should invoke the alternate version that we have, on which we have the approval, and we simply decided that in order to make sure that our signal is right at that particular point, which is not too late. After all, 48 hours since something has been residing in the website, if you want to put a right one so that you get the right signal, we decided to go ahead with it. It is our decision, our formulation, which has been earlier approved, and there is no pressure, and nobody even called us on phone to tell you that there is a problem.
Okay,
there.
but I want to ask you this
from
question.
Newspapers and other kinds of
Dr. Kasturirangan,
like